We live off up
We're
in
live.
this thing. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it.
Welcome, world. Welcome to Live with Candice and Kris.
Welcome to the show. Happy Monday, top of the week.
Happy Monday.
I'm a happy camper today. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because Candice made me some callaloo. It was delicious, yes.
Oh, yes.
So that's one of my favorite Jamaican
Okay.
dishes, callaloo.
Okay.
Candice has been saying for the longest she was going to make it, and she made me some.
I
appreciate
did.
it.
And
now
he
I'm full
didn't-
as a tick.
It needs to eat it right away. But
I left it in the fridge at work, but it came in handy today.
they came in good.
It's a breakfast food, but I like to eat it for lunch and dinner.
You know what? I love cooking.
You need to make callaloo again.
I just love cooking. This weekend I was like, what am I gonna make? I took everything in the refrigerator and made fried rice, and it was so good.
What all did you put in the fried rice?
Well, we had pernil, so I made this big, huge pernil
Okay.
on Friday, so we had some left over. So I just made, pork fried rice.
Well,
Pork fried rice, pork fried rice.
Well, whenever you feel like cooking,
It's pork fried
just stop. That's why
Pork
we're
fried
gonna
rice. Pork fried rice, $5.99. Pork fried rice.
Stop. She don't mean it, y'all.
I do,
No, but-
because I have Asian in my family. My cousin is Andre Lu Phuc Sang, so I can talk about them.
So they give you the right to, hey,
Gives
we'll,
me the
we'll
right.
roll with it then. She's part Asian. There we go.
Gives me the right. So, you ready for a great week?
I am ready for a great show, a great week, all the above. Let's do
Okay.
it, yeah.
Let me tell you, okay, so you ever had, I don't want to take too much time on this, but I got flashed at a restaurant this weekend.
Somebody, like a
A
flashlight.
woman. I don't know what happened.
What?
So she got up to pay. It was her and her boyfriend. They just looked like an odd couple to begin with.
Okay.
But she reached down. She had a tube dress, and she reached down the dress and under. So I was like, well, where did she keep the money?
She reached down. Oh, and oh yeah, you.
So the manager came to my table, and I had to tell him this whole story. And I was like, whoever took that money,
They need to sanitize that.
to shut the whole place
She
down
might
and
have been.
start
She
over.
might have been a dancer.
No, she wasn't a dancer.
Oh, she didn't look like.
No, she didn't look like a dancer.
Looked like you had an exciting weekend.
I
then.
did. I had an amazing
I
weekend,
need to start
actually.
going out with you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm ready for the show because we got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Let's start with the breakdown. So an angry Airbnb host. Airbnb.
Airbnb. We
I
gonna
always
get
say Airbnb. Why? That's a Jamaican. I'm doing everything on Jamaica. An angry Airbnb host was so pissed off that their guests did not pay their bill that they sent the wife of the guest pictures of him cheating.
Ooh.
So now that guest is going to sue. So that guest is Sean Mackey, who is the guest in question and is now suing the Airbnb for exposing pictures to his wife that is invading his privacy and caused a problem in the marriage. So this happened all over $1,570. That was this is a cheating. This is a cheating picture of him with the other woman that they sent to the wife. And it's unfortunate, but it's real. As I read on it, it's a little bit sketchy, right? Because the name of the property is called the Little Bit More Country.
Right.
The house accommodates 12 people. Mr. Mackey and his guests were only 4 to 5 people that were checking in because the host let them know that they can't have more guests at the house than 12. But on the day that Mr. Mackey was checking in, she then told him he can only have 8 guests. So with the 8 guests, anything over that, he would have to pay $250 additional for each guest. But the guests were not staying over. So I think he got taken.
I think
big
she
time.
tried to get
Yeah.
because he did inform her that he was going to have a very low key dinner, is what he described it, and it was all cool until he sent her the names of the guests. I'm wondering.
No, because he sent her the names of the guests that
Staying. Right. But then he sent the
Not-
list of the people that were supposed to come over for the dinner. And that's when she hit him with the charge. So I'm wondering, did she see those names for the additional guests, and they sounded like.
I don't think it should matter because the names are he's a black man too, and so are his guests. So
That's what I'm saying. Did she see the names and them names looked real urban, and she was like, "Oh, let me add on these extra fees."
Why you always running?
Because it's in Tennessee.
Don't be that person.
It's in Tennessee, and I know.
Don't be that
it's in
person.
Tennessee. Look,
don't be that person.
I'm gonna be that person.
All the guests were black.
Exactly.
Well, what were their names? Mercedes and Cadillac?
That's what I'm saying.
When
she got the names of the list, now all of a sudden she want to add all these extra fees.
That's not what it is.
She saw them.
That's not what it is. She tried to get that man for more money. That's all it is. I mean, she's probably scared. You know, a lot of the Airbnb. Now, I'm not taking up for her because she did that wrong.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have waited until he checked in
to
let him know that he can only have 8 extra guests.
Right.
That's not okay.
Boom.
So that in itself is wrong.
Yeah.
But still, a lot of Airbnbs, people throw big parties in them, and they destroy the property.
Yeah.
So I can understand you want to make sure that your property is taken care of, but don't hit the person at the last minute. But that's petty.
I mean, that's cool and all with the fees, but to send this man wife a picture, like
he should have been cheating.
We don't know if he cheated. That could have been one of the guests for the dinner party.
It wasn't, because he's suing. Let me go back.
We're trying to help you out, bro.
He's suing for causing damage to his marriage.
Well.
He was cheating.
He was cheating.
You supposed to get caught. God made that happen. Oh, he touched that lady's heart to
and the
charge her more.
Airbnb's host name was Pam Foiler. So if you decide to rent, you avoid that name because she gonna snitch on you.
You need to be snitched on if you cheating.
But he has filed a lawsuit, so we will see what happens. And speaking of lawsuits, a doctor from New York City has unfortunately died after having an allergic reaction to a meal while eating at Disney. We're talking about Kanokporn Tang Swan, a doctor from the stop Candice, from NYU Langone Hospital in Manhattan. Now, she was eating at the Raglan Road Irish pub restaurant at Disney Springs, where she ordered broccoli, corn fritters, scallops, and onion rings. She left there, went to Planet Hollywood, where she had difficulty breathing. She collapsed. They gave her EpiPen, but she ultimately died, and now her husband is suing Disney for negligence. I feel like if you have a life-threatening allergy to food, I wouldn't trust eating out. I would just.
No, I don't agree with you on that. I don't agree.
You wouldn't?
I think it's if you say that you have an allergy, that's why certain restaurants, they serve that for that purpose.
Right.
If that's the case, you wouldn't eat out. You wouldn't be able to enjoy anything. But it's up to the wait staff and the restaurant to make sure that those dishes really don't contain those things. And the meal that she had contained nuts. And that's what she was definitely allergic to.
Nuts and dairy.
So it is negligent on the side of Disney. And first of all, the husband is only suing them for $50,000.
Which is crazy.
I think if they have kids, it should be $50,000 per child. You can see that he's not in it for the money. My heart goes out to him because can you imagine going out to eat and then you get up, you're walking around, and then all of a sudden your spouse just falls out and drop dead. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. So that in itself is traumatizing.
Yeah. And on top of that, she did ask repeatedly to the staff, does this contain nuts and dairy? I'm allergic. They reassured her several times and still served it to her. So, you know, it's no way to spin it. It's negligence. And, you know, they hire a lot of those kids out there at Disney. And kids don't really, you know what I mean? So I think they weren't trained properly and didn't know
kids,
it.
huh?
Like they hire those kids out at Disney. Those teenagers don't really take stuff serious.
But I mean, you
like
would
that.
think Disney, of all places, who is supposed to be #1 in customer service, you would have better trained employees. When someone says they're allergic to something, take it seriously. Don't play with someone's life. And she had to have it really bad because the EpiPen didn't even work. It was probably too late by the time they realized it anyway. Yeah. But we got to move on. Here's what's not too late. These BBLs are still going out of control. Unfortunately, a woman lost her life in the Bronx to it. And now this woman that actually ministered the killer shots is going to serve 4 to 8 years in prison for illegally injecting silicone in the butt of Walisa Castillo. Walila Castillo is the one that was sentenced. It's Lesbia Alea from the Bronx. And her sister's really upset because she's saying 4 years is not enough because her sister did this with the same person twice before, but the third time was obviously, the last time.
Right.
But this is still going on. This is something that happens all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
And I mean, I understand where the sister's, coming from. She's upset that her sister passed from an illegal butt injection, but at the same time, she's got to hold her sister accountable. Like, come on, you have to know some stuff you don't get off the street. You pay for the assurance that it's going to be done right. But injections, that's not something that.
But what if she told her that she was licensed? What if she told her under the pretense that, yeah, I've done this before? I mean, if she's done it twice before, she didn't die, nothing happened. So the third time she went back, she wants some bigger. Of course she feels comfortable.
I mean, if you're getting a procedure that normally ranges, from $5,000 to $10,000, I think that's how much a BBL costs, and she's doing it for $1,500 out her apartment.
You never know. The times is hard.
Look, I just feel like if you're gonna do the surgery, the injections is the worst way to go anyway, because the silicone is regular people. Just do the fat transfer. That's the safe one.
Maybe she didn't have no fat to transfer.
Boy, that's a good point. I ain't thinking about that.
And that's more money. So if she's trying to get a big butt on a budget, the fat transfer is not gonna work.
If you're trying to get a big butt on the budget, just go to the gym.
Just
go to the gym.
That's more work
and
for them.
do squats.
No.
Just go.
It don't matter how much squats you do. They're not
They
gonna
work
look.
wonders.
They're not gonna look like the BBL. Y'all stop the line right now. I'm not advocating for BBL, but they're not gonna look like that water. They're not gonna look like that. It's gonna look like a firm butt. It's gonna look like a good butt, like it's on your back, like you're walking like a stallion.
We're talking about the injections?
Yeah, no.
Oh, you mean like the squats? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to look like them water jiggly something, what you sit down there and go and pop. That's what they look like. Then one jiggle here, one jiggle down here, and both of the bottom goes to
No, just go the old school route, just get there, do some squats.
Look,
It's never worth your
And then the
life.
thing about it is most respectable men, them not even want that. They don't want the cottage cheese bottom.
Natural is always in.
Right.
It's always going to be in.
Exactly. Gonna stop killing herself for them yes people here. But on that note, we got to take a short break. We'll be right back after this. One word.
Hey, man.
The Candice Kris Show.
Let's go.
Come on.
Hey.
The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show.
Hey, man.
The Candice Kris Show.
Let's go.
Come on.
Hey.
The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show.
Hey, man.
The Candice Kris Show.
Let's go.
Come on.
Hey.
The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show. The Candice Kris Show.
Welcome back to the show. You're just in time for What's Trending. So Tyler Perry's latest film, Mia Culpa, starring Kelly Rowland and Trevante Rose, has everybody on social media talking, and not in a good way. So the movie hit #1, and unfortunately has been getting awful reviews, including a 17% score on Rotten Tomatoes. And a review by The Guardian said it is hopelessly overstacked. Perry's poor actor stumbling over absurdly soapy dialogue, needlessly buying something that required a lot more focus to work. So everybody's been saying that the movie was not good. I watched it personally. I didn't make it through the movie. I ended up falling asleep. Falling asleep. Candice, you saw the whole thing. So you tell me, I feel like my review is not going to be good because I didn't make it through the whole.
I love Kelly.
We love you, Kelly.
I love Kelly.
love-
Kelly did a good job with the 5 words they gave her. It. She had, it was a 2-hour movie with about 5 sentences. Yes, no, we're going to do that. Like, okay, so it had so much going on.
It was a lot.
I enjoyed it because I enjoyed watching Kelly.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching Kelly Rowland in that role, doing her thing,
Yeah.
getting, into acting. I enjoyed that. I was genuinely happy for her. I was happy for the man in front of her right there.
Trevante
Yes,
Rose.
Lord. So I want to know what her husband thinks, because
Sex scene?
there is a scene that they're rolling around in the paint, and I saw a lot. It's a lot. It was a lot.
That sex scene, I was like, with Tyler Perry, might as well just go and shoot a porno.
It was,
But
I wouldn't say porno. It was
pretty-
tastefully done, but it's a married woman.
Yeah.
It was a lot for me to see her in that light. But it was a beautiful scene. It was a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
However, the ending sucked. Okay, the storyline, I didn't know what was going on. I
Yeah.
was trying to figure it out. It was just convoluted. He was trying too hard to deliver. And what could have been an amazing film, it dropped for me.
Sure. It was some stuff in there that just seemed a little unrealistic. Like the way the mother-in-law was talking. We're not going to get a movie away if you haven't seen it. But the
No,
way the
yeah.
mother-in-law was talking to Kelly, I was like, no black woman would let their mother-in-law talk crap. It just didn't seem real. Yeah.
Like I said, I enjoyed Kelly in it because I loved to see her in that space.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, I just no.
I will give Tyler credit where it's due. The wigs were better. We didn't see it. You know how he normally has them cheap wigs.
Because she got her wig on with person.
Kelly wasn't gonna let them play with her like
Kelly
that.
wasn't gonna let them put no crazy wig on her.
But a lot of people are saying maybe it's time for Tyler to start collaborating because from what I understand, he wrote, produced, did everything, casted the movie himself.
We see it.
Maybe, see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's time for Tyler to start, bringing some other creatives on board to,
Yeah, I think, you know what it is? He's so brilliant. And a lot of his movies and a lot of his shows, I see theater. I don't see real-time acting. I see the big production, and I feel like that's where his gift is.
Right.
So he does need to bring in different writers, and you said it, different people to collaborate so we can see something different. Because when he does something, even the music says Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
It's just him all over it.
You know what? That's a good way to put it. I couldn't think of the word, but it did seem a little theatrical. It didn't feel like a film.
No.
That's
it's
the
very,
best. Yes.
Very unrealistic.
Yeah, very
for a black woman to act so subdued. It was so unrealistic.
Yeah.
So unrealistic.
But we're not gonna spoil it for y'all. Watch it for yourselves and y'all, form your own opinion.
Here this was not unrealistic, baby. Cam Newton let y'all know this weekend he still got them hands. So he got jumped at his youth event by 2 young people. People are still trying to figure out and unwrap what happened, but he was handling it just fine. Just fine. Take a look at this video. Okay.
So the fight broke out, you guys, basically, and it was Cam Newton fighting 2 of the other coaches from an opposing. They were doing like a 7-on-7 tournament. And apparently, after I looked, you have to do your research, you guys, because at first I was like, why would they disrespect Cam in this? Turns out that Cam was the one that was starting it.
It don't matter.
Cam was taunting them people.
I don't
and
care.
And the 2 coaches were brothers, and he grabbed one of the brothers, and the other brother jumped in.
I don't
so
see
it was
that.
Cam.
I don't believe that. That's supposedly the story that happened. But nobody knows really what happened because nobody saw Cam actually put his hands on them. They actually ran up on him. And regardless or not, he handled both of them. He had both of them in the headlock. One here, till they ran up. The third one ran up, and then police finally broke it up. But what I love the beautiful fedora.
Yeah,
you know,
the hat never came off.
Yeah.
The whole fight.
That
Like, how you get
part.
into a whole fight and your hat don't
Oh,
come
we
off.
got the video
There's
now.
the video. Now you guys see. Here we go. Yeah, you can see Kev with the fedora hat on.
There
I
it
mean, he's
is.
handling them. But the two coaches he were fighting was TJ and Steph Brown. So it was two brothers, like I said.
It was two young people. It was still young people. It's still people from his organization. This is his organization that he has for 7-on-7 football.
Yeah.
I mean, coaches or not, you still don't have to throw hands. And I saw them throw hands first, regardless.
Well,
And he handled it.
Well, he did handle it. We'll see how it plays out, though. But
He
Cam,
handled it.
I hope you're not out there starting fights at your own tournament. That's not a good look. And speaking of not a good look, Nigerian singer Omale went viral after a fan from the audience disrespected her boyfriend by going on stage. Take a look at the clip while we talk about it.
Do we have it?
We should. So this is Nigerian singer Omale. Now the woman he is dancing with, her name is Jasani. She was there with her boyfriend when she got called up on stage. As you can see, things got pretty risque and the video has gone viral. She got a lot of backlash. Now she did come out and say that she apologized to her boyfriend privately, but she also apologized to him publicly on TikTok as well. See, that's that Keke Palmer energy there, everybody. That's that Keke. Y'all.
Don't do that. That's not even Kiki. That's a whole nother situation. What got me is how Kai Sant gave the boyfriend $20,000.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Gave the boyfriend $20,000 and then did a video call with all different women. And the girlfriend was upset. Like,
How you get mad? Yeah.
How can you get mad? This wasn't even like a regular look at this.
At one point, she goes down on her knees like she's about to perform for like it's
really you don't dance like that if you have a man. I'm sorry, that's too much. The Usher thing, this is a lot. This is a
And the
lot.
boyfriend
She
was
forgot
there.
she was on stage.
No, what she didn't think was that it was gonna go viral. I don't think she thought it was gonna go viral.
Regardless.
That's why you gotta be careful what y'all do in public. You never know what's gonna go viral.
Regardless or not,
mean-
it was a lot. For someone who's in a relationship, that's definitely not what you do.
And as a man, how do you recover from that? Like, when she came back to the audience, I know everybody
It's
was
no-
looking at him like,
It's no. When
Like-
she come back to the audience, like, where you going? Where your seat there?
you would,
You better go back.
like I would have been so embarrassed. Like, it's nothing you can say.
Oh, I wouldn't have been embarrassed.
Your girl that got on her
I
knees in
wouldn't
front
have-
of the.
I wouldn't have been embarrassed.
You wouldn't?
Absolutely not.
Why would you have not been embarrassed?
Why would I be embarrassed? She don't belong to me after that.
Oh, you would have left it.
Why am I embarrassed for what? I'm going to be embarrassed for her, but I'm not going to be embarrassed.
Yo, I mean,
I'm
I
going
get
to say,
it.
find your way back up to the stage so he can take you home.
Now, Sonny did say that she told her boyfriend before they got to the concert that she was a huge fan. She bought the tickets, by the way, to the
I
concert.
don't care what fan.
But, I mean, her boyfriend wasn't expecting all that.
That's ridiculous.
Nah.
But anyway, oh my goodness. The Wendy Williams documentary came out this weekend, and a lot of us watched it. I know I watched it in complete horror, in complete shock. It was a lot to see. And now her former attorney is speaking out. She's breaking her silence. She said all this time she was quiet about it. She didn't have much to say, but after seeing the documentary, she had to. So that is LaShawn Thomas. I'm not going to read all of it, just a little bit of what she said. She said, you can clearly see the difference between Wendy's well-being during her time in Florida with her son caring for her and the lack thereof in New York under the guardianship. Now, what she's referring to, there's a lot of scenes that Wendy is with her actual family, which you can see that she's doing really, really good. They are caring for her. They love her. But the guardianship ordered her back to New York City. And in such a short amount of time, she got all these problems. So she was diagnosed with dementia, aphasia. But in the film, there's no speaking of anything that she's been diagnosed of, which everyone is finding really odd. I found it odd because I thought that they were going to talk about it, but they didn't. And her son, Hunter Jr., I mean, you can see the love he has for his mother. It's just unfortunate.
And I didn't know until the attorney spoke out that the guardianship that was the petition that was filed for her was from the bank. I didn't realize it was from her bank. So basically, her bank has full control over her health care, who's watching over her. It's the same thing we saw with Britney Spears, kind of that was conservative. Well, like to where she's not in control of her own.
Yeah, but that was
angle.
her dad. This is a
The bank.
complete stranger. And not only that, in 2022, year before last, the court appointed a third party, and nobody knows who these people are. I watched and I cried a lot through the year. I'm really not that emotional, but to see her displayed in this way, it didn't help her brand. It didn't help her, and I'd like to know who's behind this. It was so sad to watch her go down like this.
I wanted to watch it, but I felt like they're exploiting her, and I said it last week. I feel like they're just doing this just for clickbait and for views, and apparently that's what a lot of people felt too. But you could tell that Wendy's she's like, I don't know if she was doped up on meds or just if that's the
it was
dementia,
a lot.
but it was a lot.
It was a lot to watch. What was really touching is to see her dad, who's much older, try to go through pictures with her and jog her memory. But I feel like the court, they need to let her be with her family. That's where she was flourishing. That's where she was doing really good. And they need to have grace for her kids. Those are her children. They want to see her. Hunter spoke about how he used to take her to all her doctor's appointments. I don't see why they're not allowing that. But the family is going to file again coming up this year because they have to revisit it every year. So hopefully this year, they'll let the family be a part of those decisions.
Yeah, nobody's going to take as good a care of her as her son. So put her back with her son.
But on that note, we got to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you
next time.